New York, Mr. Goldman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a little rich to be lectured about anti-Semitism from somebody who could not even bring herself to vote yes on a anti-Semitism resolution that was supported by all but 2 members of the House of Representatives. But we are here, I think, for a very important purpose, and I do thank the chairman for raising this issue and calling this hearing. I was disappointed that the partisan accusations that somehow President Biden and his administration are responsible for the rise in anti-Semitism when President Biden issued the first national strategy to counter anti-Semitism, and nonprofit security grants and the funding for them significantly increased during the Biden administration. And now that we've had 3 very serious, violent anti-Semitic incidents, the need for those nonprofit security grants is even greater. And I was certainly disappointed to see that the subcommittee on appropriations allotted only $305 million for nonprofit security grants, the same amount in fiscal year 23 before October 7th, before the dramatic rise in anti-Semitism, and before the violent events that have occurred over the last couple months. Ms. Raymond, you are here from the AJC, and one of those tragic violent events occurred at an AJC event. Could you just briefly, and obviously we express our condolences to you and the organization and the Israeli embassy, but can you describe what additional security measures AJC will now need to take after and as a result of the murders of Sarah and Yaron?
Thank you so much for the condolences and recognizing AJC's sort of unique place in this horrible anti-Semitic landscape that we're all navigating in this moment. There's, of course, an active investigation into what took place the night of the murder of Sarah and Yaron. So I can't comment too much on that, but I can say that we've been in very deep and many conversations with law enforcement, with the FBI, with the Secure Communities Network about protocols, and have been largely reassured that the existing protocols that AJC has in place for our events are parallel to what Jewish community organizations and advocacy organizations across the board are using, and that we have done everything.
I guess the question, if I could just interrupt, is
Please.
I'm assuming that after this event where there was terrible violence, that you're going to have to increase security.
Yes.
That will cost money, correct?
Yes, yes.
And that is true for just about every single Jewish organization, whether it be a synagogue or a nonprofit like AJC.
Absolutely, and there becomes a point where questions have to be asked. Do we have a program? Do we go on a trip? Do we engage certain constituencies, or is the security cost simply too high?
Yep, and I think that that's worth noting because last year alone, there were almost $1 billion of applications through the Nonprofit Security Grant Program. Obviously, there was about $450 million, so not all of them could be granted. What you're saying, and what certainly I've been told by many synagogues and Jewish organizations, is now that these extremist anti-Semitic protests that previously had been included intimidation, harassment, some assault, but had not crossed over the line to violence and murder as they now have, are going to have to increase security. And the federal program that provides funding for that security is the Nonprofit Security Grant Program. And if there were $1 billion of applications last year, we can only imagine how much more need there will be this year. And I certainly hope that the chairman, who I know cares very deeply about this issue, will encourage his colleagues on the Appropriations Committee and in leadership of the Republican Party to dramatically increase the $305 million Many have been calling for at least $500 million, which I have also supported, and I know AJC has supported. And it is absolutely essential for the Jewish community that the nonprofit security grant funding be significantly increased from last year, not decreased. And I'm hoping we can work in a bipartisan way to do that, Mr. Chairman, because I know you do, and many of your colleagues on the other side of the aisle care very much about the Jewish community, and this is essential to the safety and security of the Jewish community. And I yield back.
Congressman, if I may, if we have just 1 second, I would only say that the nonprofit security grant program doesn't just help Jewish communities protect our institutions. It's for all vulnerable communities. So as we're increasing this amount, we need to make sure also that it's not at the cost or at the jeopardy of other communities. So we need to not only elevate it to meet the needs of the Jewish community, but make sure that all vulnerable communities throughout the United States have the capacity to apply for and receive these important grants.
No question about it. Thank you.